As an INFP, you might be wondering, what should I do with my life? Well, in this video, I want to tell you some of my own experiences as a 38-year-old INFP right now, some of the stuff that I've gone through and how that can translate into you living the life that you want to live in your future. Coming up. Hey, I'm Matt Sherman and welcome to Geek Psychology, where we use personality type for self-discovery and self-improvement. What should you be doing with your life? Well, I think it should be the usual things, of watching Netflix, plotting to take over the world, and also just trying to figure out what to eat. I think those are the basic difficulties that, and just life stories, life threads that you can go through. But really, I want to talk about personality type and how that influences who you are and what you can be and should be possibly doing with your life. Okay, but before I get into all of that, I want to make sure that you know that whatever you do with your life, it's your choice. All right, you don't need to worry about what anybody else wants you to do or is encouraging you to do or saying this is what you have to do. I hear that a lot, like my parents want me to go to law school and I really just don't care about it. What should I do? How do I, live my own true life? Take some courage, right? To separate yourself from the pack and to do those things that are calling you. And it also, you've probably noticed my nails, my daughter painted these and I just haven't taken it off yet. So it takes a lot of, guts and courage to separate yourself from the pack and to heed your own call to adventure, your own journey. And it won't be easy. And you'll probably struggle with it for a long time, as we all have, right? In some way, we all go through these struggles and these issues. But I guarantee that in the end, if you stick with it and you have the drive to forge your own life, that you're going to be happier with it. In the end, you're going to be doing something that at least inspired you, right? Or tapped into some authentic piece of yourself, whether you were successful in the standard terms or not. So if we're going to bring in personality type to this whole thing, let's talk about the 4 different characters within you really quickly as an INFP. Just imagine, go on this journey with me, that you have these 4 different main characters, okay? You have an empath, this hero, this character that's resonating through decisions and just trying to scale, like on a scale of like and dislike, figure things out. Like how much do I like this thing? How good is it for me? How do I feel about it? What does my conscience say? Okay, that's the empath, and that's the main hero of your story. You're always going to want to listen to that character. But that doesn't mean you're always going to want to do everything that character wants to do all the time, because that's kind of a path to like using a hammer for everything, right? It's not the only tool in your box. It's not the only character in your adventuring party within your psyche. You also have the explorer. That's about innovating, brainstorming, trying new things, experimenting, playing with life. You also have the guardian. The guardian's about stabilizing, maintaining consistency, doing stuff that you've always done before, which is why making a decision about what to eat can be really difficult, because it's like, well, I've always eaten this thing, so that's what I want, but I know I probably should try these other things. Yeah. And then you also have the commander. This is about strategizing, about checking things off the box, moving forward with your life, delegating tasks, efficiency, effectiveness, getting things done. And that can be a hard one to wrangle and get onto your team so that your characters are all going in the same direction, right? You want them all focused on the same goals. So for me, when we're considering meaning of life and what you should be doing with your life, you're going to want to consider, how can I get these 4 characters to be accessed throughout the day and used throughout my tasks, right? Because if you start to ignore them, they're going to find a way to speak up. They're going to find a way to create some chaos and drama so that they get attention. So you want to proactively nurture them, get them out, right? Play with them, get them to have some experience points built throughout the day. So you're going to want to combine your empath introverted feeling with extroverted intuition, you're explorer in some way. And this can come through writing, through creativity, poetry, crafts, music, song, dance, some sort of creative exploration and delving into your identity and who you are as a person and what that actually means for humanity. Like, once you really get to that like core seed of understanding who you are at an individual level, then you actually know more about everybody else in the world, right? And you have a way of tapping into their emotions and helping them deal with these issues that they're going through. And that's why art and music is so beautiful, because like you are able to replicate this emotion outside of yourself, and then other people can experience that and have then some language for it, some understanding that they're not alone in the universe, because other people feel this way too. And that's just such a beautiful feeling. And your path to doing that, to discovering that combination of those characters, is up to you. For me, making these videos, making courses and content and stuff like that, teaching people how to understand themselves through personality type and through my core interests of, geek culture and gaming and the hero's journey. That's my way of doing it. I don't know your way. I only found this because I put myself out there a bunch of times and just got stretched way outside my comfort zone to understand these different aspects of myself. And that's what the explorer is there for. It's for pushing you outside of your comfort zone and getting you to do all these things that you're like, I don't really know how I feel about that because I've never done that. I've never experienced that. Okay. And despite that being an amazing combination and like one of your key strengths and core strengths of combining those two into this innovating empath type character, or these two characters working together, you're also going to want to make sure that your guardian is taken care of. And what I mean by that is that you do have some stability in your life, that you are doing some kind of nostalgic things, right? Watching shows that you've seen before, listening to music from your past or from the past of another version of yourself a long time ago, or however you want to think about anything nostalgic. It's important to have that stability, that consistency, but not to make it rule your life. So it's a form of comfort. It's relaxing. It relieves stress to do that stuff. So you want to interleave that into your life. And then if we talk about extroverted thinking, this commander-like character, it can be quite difficult to, utilize within your life. But what I've found is that the more I start to study stuff around goal setting, strategizing, organizing my life, just cleaning my house and stuff like that, the more I do those things, the better I feel. The more productive I feel, the more worthy or worthwhile I feel, the more value I have for myself, because I'm like getting stuff done. And by doing that, then I start to create a life that I want to live. And this is the same for you. The more like action that you take, the more you're going to create the life that you want to live. Like, I understand the joy and the love of like dreaming about things and imagining things and escaping into these fantastical worlds, right? Where you're living a completely different life with somebody else. And that's why I brought that into personal development, right? By playing with these characters, by sending them on adventures and stuff like that. But if it's all just in your head and in your imagination and in your heart and not in the tangible real world, you're not actually doing stuff, right? And you're going to continuously loop back into, well, how do I escape this crappy real life that I live? Well, I got to go into my fantasies. And that's not very good, right? You want to at least create some sort of structure outside yourself to help you do those things that you want to do. So if you are doing artwork or something like that, well, study marketing, study presentation in some way so that you can create a business that allows you to do more of that stuff. And I know a lot of people will say like, well, I don't want to turn it into a job because then I won't be fulfilled by it. And that is something that, you might have to consider and deal with. But for me so far, and I've made 600 some videos I don't really know, and I've created businesses around this type of stuff, I still love it. I'm always going to love self-discovery. I might pivot, I might change my approach to it, but I'm going to always be doing that. And I think you will find the same if you just utilize your interests and find some way of creatively expanding and explaining that to other people and sharing it with others. Then I think you'll create the life that you want to live, and that is something that you could be doing with your life. Whew. So what does that mean for you? What's your next step? What are you going to actually implement from this video instead of just watching and resonating with and be like, oh yeah, I understand it. That's me, right? I feel the same way. Like, actually do something with it. Take some steps, log on to your Commander and figure out what steps you need to take in order to start creating the life that you want to live in the future, and then start doing those. Even if it's hard, even if you don't feel like it, it's going to set up your life into the way that you want your life to be. And then through that, you're going to be able to continuously pivot in the directions that you want, and you'll learn that you can cope, you can acclimate, and you can create a better life for yourself and your family and your community and hopefully the world. And if you want some more help with that, you can check out this video over here. And until then, good luck, have fun, peace.